Hey, I have one statement to read to you today, and it's by Sigmund Freud, who was, if you don't know who he is, he's one of the psychoanalytic theorists in psychology. But he said that unexpressed emotions will never die, that they are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. So that statement is so true, and it's so old. What he said is old. He's, existed a while ago. And how do they come forth in uglier ways? Well, there's so many. So I was just wondering if you guys had any idea in what ugly ways your unexpressed emotions have come forth for you. I see it all the time, every day. People telling me that they don't want to express that, they don't want to say that, or that they were told not to express a certain emotions. Certain emotions were acceptable and certain other ones weren't. And that the people have said, well, it was just better not to say anything to avoid conflict. I couldn't say anything when I was younger because, I would get in trouble by my parents, or they would make me feel a certain way. So if you have unexpressed emotions, they're buried inside of your body and inside of your mind, and it's creating toxicity, and that toxicity will actually show itself in the form of physical illness, very typically, pain. Fibromyalgia is a very typical one for people who, are experiencing random pain and they don't know why. A lot of it is unexpressed, buried emotions that have affected their body, that they have nowhere to go. So they're buried, and I have this brush because I'm brushing my dog. But, they have this physical illness that has come forth, and a lot of the times it is because of those stuffed down inside the body, toxic emotions that have spread and caused a physical reaction later, years later, 20 years later, 30 years later, it happens. Also, relationships, unexpressed emotions can eat away at relationships because you're not able to communicate, and communication being the number one thing that holds relationships together. Not how much you love the person, not how much you can do for the person, not how much you can provide for them financially, or whatever the case may be. It's not about how good of a person you are. It's about how in touch you are with your true emotions and how often you can readily and freely express those emotions. And of course, in a non-reactive way, and more of a responsive way. So the goal is to be able to become in touch with those emotions inside yourself first before communicating them to another, so that they don't come off as an emotional, wild, explosive reaction. That's not effective. But usually it's because we haven't sat with it long enough, because we're uncomfortable and then we don't want to sit with it. And people always want to move forward, move on. That's the number one thing that people come in and say, how do I move forward? How do I move on? Well, you don't. You don't. You sit your ass down and you sit with the emotions that you want to move forward from, or the situation you want to hurry up and get out of, or whatever the case may be. You need to sit with it and be able to be with it. And then moving on, quote unquote, happens naturally. Because there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to run to. There's nowhere to move on to. And if you do, you can choose that. Then the same experiences show up again. Same relationships, same circumstances, same triggers, same angst. The way that you're financially experiencing life will still show up the same way. You have to sit with everything in every realm: financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. You have to sit with things and accept what is coming up and become comfortable with being in that uncomfortable state for a period of time. And every psychology gets down to the root of this. Every spiritual practice and religion, they're basically saying the same thing. Contemplative Christianity talks about being still and quietness in the presence of God. I have a little flip calendar for it's a Christian flip calendar, and I flipped it today, and it was spend time with me in quiet. And that's your best defense against spiritual warfare is to spend time with me in quiet. You look at somebody who's doing a meditation and they have some singing bowls and some crystals. They're spending time quiet in meditation. It's to achieve the same goal. It's to look at ourselves, look at all of these deep emotional programs that are so rooted in us that we don't like. If we can sit down and be still with that, we can free ourselves from that. Because that's where the real evil is. That's where the real dark is. That's where the shadows are, is inside of ourselves that have been stuffed and buried and unexpressed, things that we believe to be true about us that are faulty, things that we believe about people or, human race in general. We have to sit down and get in touch with those things. And when we do, then we are truly connecting with God. And also we are truly connecting with the truth within us, which is made in the image of God, right? And if you don't like any of those words, go visit some other spiritual practices, but they're doing the same damn thing. They're all trying to achieve the same thing. Now, I'm sure there's some crazy ass, radical crap out there that we all know about. But, I mean, the person who's searching, the person who wants to get well, the person who wants to connect and belong and find love and find their truth, they're all going to end up in the same spot. And they're all going to end up coming to me for something. And if they're coming to me to get past a pattern, an addictive pattern, or to feel happiness, to feel joy, to feel peace, to reduce anxiety, to get rid of their depression, I'm going to tell you all the same damn thing. It's all going to be rooted in the same thing. That's why I'm a holistic counselor, because I think most of the bullshit in the DSM it's bullshit, right? It's symptoms of something deeper as a human being. And again, there's that human being word. Stop trying to move on. Move on. I got to bury this. I got to move on. I got to move past it. That's fucking bullshit, and you're going to end up sick. So I'm here. I'd love to talk to you about it. I can be intense, and today's one of those intense days where I'm like, this is like laying the gauntlet down. Ah. This is what it is. It's the truth of what it is. And it's hard because, people are in places that aren't ready for that. And some people will never, ever involve themselves in listening to this video or seeking any of that out. And that's completely fine because that's their soul path. But if you're on it and you're looking and you're searching and you're bitching and you're complaining about your life, you can do something about it. Get a hold of me. I do distance sessions via FaceTime, via Skype. I have plenty of discounts. Put your email in the comments or send me your email. I send out specials at least every other week. My services aren't cheap, but yet it's valuable. So if you want to do this work, you invest in it and you will receive abundance back because of healing yourself. So I'm here. I have a retreat coming up October 12th with horses and trails and a most beautiful place you'll ever be to get in touch with yourself and your shit at a deeper level. And you'll be submerged in it all day long. It's $275, but you get fed, you get to be in a place all day from like 9 to 4:30, and you get to learn a crap ton about yourself on deeper levels, and you get to release a bunch of stuff too. So get a hold of me for that. I posted about it. I have an event about it. I'm not trying to make this Facebook video too long because all of you already stopped watching 30 seconds in because you need to go do the next thing. Let's hurry up and go. But whoever did follow through and watch this, I will hear from you. Oh, Hooch, you want to say bye? All right. See you guys.